Subscribe or bear the hatred of the Uchiha. Wake up to reality.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Show with another video, and today we're talking about the Devil May Cry. The Netflix anime just released not too long ago. I finished everything. I want to talk about it for a little bit, but first, let me go ahead and explain my history with the games, because I know it's going to be a whole different perspective from somebody who's played and beat every one of the games. I have played every single Devil May Cry game. I have only beaten, I think, 2 out of like all of them. I even played the reboot one, but I never finished that one. So I might not be qualified to talk about how good a story is in relation to Devil May Cry, but I at least played all of them, and I put good hours on all of them, so I'll at least say that. But just off the gate, off that experience alone, I think it was good. I think it was good. I've seen a lot of people not liking it because of certain like changes and stuff, like changes they had the lady, and then changes to Virgil. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that type of stuff. I mean, I get it. I mean, most of the time when you got a series like that, like that's got heavy fan love, that if you do anything wrong, it's gonna be a problem. See, Castlevania is a little bit different because the lore of Castlevania is so like not out there. Like they got good, decent lore, but you could take a story about Trevor who may have did something in his Castlevania game and just kind of make it into a whole different story based on that character. You can do that easily. But Devil May Cry, Dante and Virgil and all his characters in his game, they have like a direct storyline. So if people feel like they're not following that direct storyline, they're gonna get mad. Me personally, I say let them cook. I seen what they did with Castlevania. I seen, you know what I'm saying, this first season, I thought it was good. I seen some people complain that Dante was too jokey. I always thought Dante was kind of like goofy. Like he's obviously a cool video game character, that's just his thing, but he's always had those moments of silliness or whatever, or like, y'all know the famous scene.
I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light.
So I mean, it's always kind of been goofy a little bit. But look, the story revolves around this rabbit. Well, I must say, was actually a pretty good villain. Was he some of the best villain? No, but he had a pretty interesting motive. He had good henchmen and good voice work, so it did it for me. He had this rabbit who steals the sword of Sparta, and the whole anime itself kicks off because he's trying to find the other half of the amulet, which Dante holds. And that gets like the humans involved, and they come after Dante trying to get that amulet to try to stop the world from getting overrun by demons. I think the premise itself works. I think if you don't think about it too hard and don't think about how certain characters are introduced in the game, it works. I think it's a solid premise. They kind of introduce Lady, you know, she's the commanding officer of this demon hunting task force. They throw a little bits of her backstory in as it goes. Now she normally comes off as like at least in the anime, a very angry, kind of annoying character. You know, sometimes where you may have the main character be such a lovable, likable guy that secondary character always violates, and it kind of sucks. Like you kind of hate those type of characters. I think Lady was like that at first, but you kind of understand her backstory and it starts to trickle in a little bit more. I'm not saying she was my favorite, but I actually liked her character towards the end of the show. My favorite would probably have to be Enzo. Enzo was hilarious the whole show. Yeah, he was definitely one of my favorite characters in the anime, and I liked all the references to like different properties. They had Street Fighter in there. I saw Resident Evil like twice. The Raccoon City job, which Devil May Cry was originally supposed to be a Resident Evil game, so that's cool. Nice little plug-in. Let's talk about I was about to say gameplay. Let's talk about the fighting, the action, the graphics, animation. I think it was good. I think it was really good. I think some of the fights were really cool. You can see a little bit of the CG work in there, but that was no problem. Do I think the fights were as cool as something like the later seasons of Castlevania or the second season of Nocturne? No. But I think those fights in itself were just choreographed crazy. They had good fight choreo in Devil May Cry. They definitely did. But it was more like a season 1 type of deal. I didn't really see anywhere when the animation dropped or animation lacked at all. So I guess in that sense, it was good. It was fluid all the way through. The art style was great. So at least from that standpoint, I don't think there was nothing wrong with any animation or any graphics or whatever. Now, let's talk about voice work, because that's important in this one. Some people didn't like that he was voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, who, as a person who watches a lot of anime, his voice is very recognizable. People that played the games, he's the voice of Nero, who is a character that has a lot of significance in the later games, and he's basically like the third main character. So a little bit of weirdness there if you were really used to playing like the games. They had Kevin Conroy in here and he killed it. It's definitely gonna be sad to not have him in the season 2, but he killed that voice work, man. He really did. He had that kind of like authority in his voice, like the Batman, but like, he was always playing to something. And he was a little unhinged, I'm not gonna lie. But no, he did amazing. Other than that, I thought everybody else's voices were cool. I thought all the backstories and like the lore and that building up was cool. I like that one episode. I feel like a lot of the Netflix anime have like this one episode where it's like they just give into a backstory and it's like a deep, like they might not show no music or they might not talk in that scene, but they always show like this is what happened type of scene. I know Arcane's not an anime, but I think that Arcane scene when he went to the other world, I'm not gonna get into that, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like that kind of beautiful episode just to wrap everything and tie everything in a knot. Now let's get to the elephant in the room. Virgil, how they handle Virgil and everything else. I know some people was like so they had Virgil kind of in the trailers, him popping out of nowhere, but it was kind of a misdirect because there was a shapeshifter demon that was there and he just turned to look like Virgil, and they kind of like let you know, or at least let the story be known that Virgil is alive, because later on you find out the shapeshifting demon is more like a mirror. He can only mirror things that are alive. That's just kind of like a little hint that Virgil will be coming. But spoilers, we'll get to the spoiler part. We won't talk about it long. But spoilers, so at the end of the show, we get to see Virgil do his judgment cut. We actually see him earlier, but they kind of confirmed that it was him. And as we know in the games, he's under the control of Mundus through like some mind control stuff or whatever, right? So people were freaking out about this scene because they were like, there's no way he would willingly work for Mundus or whatever, because he talked about waging war with the humans, because that's basically what the pivotal story of the show is. Like, the humans are gonna go to war with the demons, and it seems like there's gonna be like a Dante could be on the human side, because I don't know, it seemed like they're kind of building up a storyline where it's like all demons aren't bad type of thing, which I don't mind. It's something different. And they have Virgil on the side fighting for the demons. But he appears to be fighting for Mundus, right? But the thing is, we don't really know. He could be under mind control. He could be trying to trick Mundus into thinking that he's working for him to try to kill him. Like, we really don't know. I get that this is like a big character pivot to a lot of people, but literally it was at the end of the show. We can't know until season 2 comes. All in all, I don't think it was bad. I think the show itself was great. Maybe if you're like a heavy DMC fan and you feel like they're messing with the lore, but I think it was pretty clear that they're not trying to go like, it's like word for word remake of the games. The same thing they did with Castlevania. They took characters from the games and either made them cooler or rewrote them in a way that fits in their overarching plot. So I don't think people should be all that upset about it. It was good. With that being said, guys, thanks for letting me know to check this one out. Let me know how you felt about it, and I'll see you guys next video.